This is the Carty Method Podcast.
I'm so excited to be back. Getting on a plane and traveling somewhere new is by far the smartest thing that you can do for yourself and for your career. I recently came back from Cape Town, South Africa, and I gotta tell you, what an absolute life-changing experience. I've been back for not even a week. Traveling is something more than just seeing new places. It actually helps you expand what's actually possible. I'm telling you, I got to expand what was actually possible in Cape Town. And I got to say also, you need to get a passport. If you do not have one of these, getting a passport, this is the smartest thing that you can do for yourself and for your business. Once you have a passport, you can travel to other countries and shoot. It's something that is so important. The first time I waited late to get on a plane. The first time I got on a plane, I was 23 years old. And I was moving at that time. I was moving to Miami, and I was moving there for a year. Now, I didn't know anybody. All I had was my camera, my portfolio, and a dream. I didn't even have like a green card. I wasn't able to work there legally, but I just moved to South Beach because it was the place at that time in the early 90s that everything was happening. And I wanted to be a fashion photographer. And I realized I could only get so far in Toronto as a fashion photographer. So I got on a plane and I moved to Miami. That was hard. And again, I'm a shy person. I'm way shyer than I appear. You see me on YouTube, you think I'm this like extroverted guy, but I'm shy. And doing things like that really put me outside my comfort zone. And I started doing that really young. I started doing that when I was 23 years old. I moved to Miami. I get a shitty apartment that's 3 blocks away from the beach. And I start going to agencies. And for those who really know my story, as far as the first time I showed my portfolio, being laughed out of the office, like being laughed out of the office because my portfolio was so bad. One of those agents moved to Miami and worked for an agency in Miami. And I came there with my new portfolio, and she did not laugh me out of the office. She was like, "Oh, good. You got good. Look at you. You got good." Like that's literally what she said to me. "You got good." And she started pulling girls off the wall and being like, "Here, shoot this girl," meaning comp cards, modeling portfolios. "Shoot this girl, shoot this girl, shoot this girl." I made it. I was 23 years old and I was rocking it in Miami. And there was times when I was on the beach shooting my model, and then I look and right not 50 feet, 100 feet from my model, Christy Turlington. And then I look to see who's shooting Christy Turlington. Peter Lindbergh. Like, this was my life when I lived in Miami. I went to clubs and like, oh, there's a huge lineup at this club. You go to the club and like you get in there and Prince is there. Like, that was my life when I was 23 years old living in Miami. And I'm a kid from Toronto. Getting on a plane is the smartest thing that you can do. I lived in Canada. I went to the US. If you live in US, go somewhere else. Like, that's the thing that starts everything. And it's okay to start small. For me, I started small. I didn't just get on a plane and fly to Miami. But when I was 23 years old, I got in a car and I drove to Montreal because Montreal is a bigger fashion market than it is here in Toronto. And I showed my portfolio at 18, I'd started to work for that agency here in Toronto and started to test models. And then I went to Montreal, started to test models there because there was different locations in Montreal. Montreal looks like Europe when Toronto looks more like New York. So I was building this portfolio just by getting on planes, getting in cars, and driving to different places. I feel like the world opened up for me. The world opens up for you a little bit each time you travel. You know, I got to tell you though, moving to Miami was the big stroke for me. It was like my first taste of being a real photographer. But I was struggling. I got to tell you, I couldn't get checks. People had to pay me cash. I wasn't legal. I had to like hide from La Migra. But it carved me. It carved me into somebody who did hard things. Somebody who where you would kind of shy away from. No, I leaned into the thing that was hard because I knew it would be better for my career. And when I came back to Toronto and I had palm trees and ocean and supermodels in my book. I mean, I didn't shoot Christy Turlington, but oh my goodness, the models in Miami that came there from all over the world compared to the models that were here in Toronto, what a difference. We really do have to lean ourselves out there. Travel gives you perspective. Travel gives you perspective in a way that you can't really put your finger on it. You can't really understand it until you actually go someplace exotic, go someplace wild. And specifically, if you're an architectural photographer, or if you're a portrait photographer, or a fashion photographer, or maybe you're a product photographer, maybe you shoot fashion accessories, you need to go see other markets and try to shoot in other markets. It's the smartest thing that you can really do. It's humbling. And I always bring my gear when I travel. It doesn't matter whether I'm doing a small little car trip in Ontario or going to New York or going to LA. Most of the times that I've been traveling over the last 20 years, I've been traveling for work. I've been to Italy and the UK and all over Canada and the US. I've been to Central America. And recently, I've been to Africa. And going to Africa, going to South Africa specifically, being on a plane for what felt like over 24 hours. It wasn't actually 24 hours flying, but 18. It's eye-opening. And meeting new people from new places is the thing that really I enjoy the most. I got to finally meet in person my operations manager, who's been working with me for the last year. It's been 1 year. Like August was a year with him. Traveling somewhere new, traveling to Africa, hearing new voices, new languages, and shooting new photographs. For me, that was the biggest. And again, if you guys are into it, I'm going to show you some photographs because I shot and I had a model set up for, I don't know, like I got there on, say, Friday. I had a model set up for Wednesday to shoot. The model quickly canceled. And again, I don't think that she knew what she was about to deal with, but Garan, who was producing this and putting this all together for me, I had met his daughter and photographed his daughter, and just a quick little click with my R5. And she was great. And she was keen to do more. So Garan's daughter became my model, and I made some magic pictures. There's so many stories. There's so many things that happened during this trip that I want to get into. But the reason that I'm doing like this loose, no notes kind of an episode today is because I just wanted to speak from the heart. I just wanted to talk to you about how getting on a plane, and each time I do it, it changes me. When I come back, I'm a little sharper, I'm a little softer, I'm a little bit more creative, and it happens every time. This last time, going to Cape Town specifically, going to South Africa specifically, and experiencing how people are experiencing everything from the shops to the businesses to the houses to the everything. Like I got to experience Cape Town like a local, which was amazing. I don't know, like it made me feel like maybe I'm in the wrong place. And that's something that will happen to you. The first time that you go someplace far and like it, because you're going to do research, you're going to pick the right spot before you go far. You're going to like it. And that's the thing that's somewhat scary and somewhat exhilarating. Like, you can do anything you want. Like, I could literally move to Miami Beach again. I could move to England. I could move to Italy. I could move to Cape Town. Like, there's no limit. Once you start flying around, and once you have this thing, and once you bring value to people, bring value to businesses, you can bring value in not just your local market, but in other countries. And having the confidence to do that, having the confidence to put yourself out there in a global scale, it's necessary, I think, for every creative to do and for every photographer to do. If you're here finding me today and you're watching me today, if you're watching me, you're a subscriber because you are trying to be a photographer, well, you know that that's all I talk about. It's all I obsess about, is trying to help the next generation of people get to be a professional photographer. But know that there's so much to it, and so it rarely happens in your front door. You know, it rarely like, there's a saying, you can't be a prophet in your own land. Like, there's a reason that is something that you hear people say. You can't be a prophet in your own land. It's because only when you leave your land do people who you used to see every day start to miss you. And they're like, oh, I wish that guy was here. He was great. I wish that girl was here. She was great. And you're now in a different land, being the new person in this new place. And that, it's a great feeling. And then you get to come back to where you were with stories about where you were and what you've learned. And after I moved back to Toronto, after living in Miami for a year and having palm trees and models that aren't from here in my book, male and female, crazy locations, I really developed this style after living in Miami for a year that then I got to apply back here at age 24 in Toronto. Like, things really started to move for me after that. And the next big thing was shooting for the Globe and Mail and shooting portraits for the Globe and Mail. And very soon after, shooting celebrities for the Globe and Mail, like Phil Collins and Roger Moore and Tom York from Radiohead, and so many more celebrities that came from starting with the confidence that came from moving to Miami. And then when I came back here and I started showing that work to magazines and newspapers and potential clients here, my confidence was here because I had succeeded somewhere else. Now, when you come back to the place that you're from, it looks like small beans. So this, getting on a plane and traveling makes you stronger. I feel like it makes you a bigger, wiser, better human. I shot thousands of pictures in Cape Town. And Garan Rath, this fine folk right here, this gentleman, the first day that I met him, I had to shoot his portrait. So this is literally the second day that I met him. I had to have Garan in front of the camera. And this is unedited, just showing you what it is that I shot when he was here. I mean, when I was there. But it's liberating finally connecting with people, that someone that I've known on Zoom for the last year. Gran, it turned out to be the most interesting person in the world. It's fantastic. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of cool things here. Starting with, where should I start? I should start with this. One of the other things that I wanted to do beyond doing a photo shoot or shooting a model was shooting portraits of strangers on the street. And I managed to do that. And I have a couple of different ways that I want to show you that work. First, I'm going to show, because Gran shot clips of me doing this, and it's great that he shot clips, and he shot many. He shot clips of me asking strangers if I could shoot their portrait. And also, it's like Garan's filming. This is just so out of character. But I got amazing portraits, and I bought stuff from people. I gave rand to other people to make it so it was a valuable exchange. I'm going to show you the work that I shot in a second, but like this, I'll end up turning into a bit of a video of being in Cape Town, because the next clip that I'm going to show you is yeah, like it's just this kind of vibe is necessary. I think each time you get on a plane, you need to do, and this is unedited, just straight at a camera. I've done no color, no anything. But this will be a frame. This will be a final. I enjoy this. I enjoy putting myself out there this way and talking to new people and new faces. Let me show you this young lady who is Vanessa. Her name is Vanessa, and I forget her full last name, but I'm going to tell you in a second. This is some portraits of Vanessa, who is a singer and guitar player. She has no phone. She has no internet. She's struggling. She's got a few kids. And I literally shot a little music video for her. And I don't know, just special. Special minutes. I'm going to show you this. So this was just fantastic. Sadly, I can't. You're not hearing the audio. Um, I'm noticing the audio is not coming through there, but Cheryl wants to go see a coffee and record store. So we go to this coffee and record store and it's closed. And the guy's there and he's like, "Hey man, don't worry. I'll open for you. I happen to be here." And he then lets us in and starts, and again, I can't play the music for you that he's playing, but he ends up playing like the sickest South African music. And because Cheryl wanted to buy some records, so he basically does like this set for us over the course of, and I just film the set. And the guy has got music on music on music. So I just film this and listen, because obviously I'm going to want to use this somehow, but I can't have this copyright music playing on while I'm doing this. So there was just so many different opportunities like this where I found myself being creative, meeting new people, putting myself out there. Garan, this fine gentleman, found 3 like absolute show-stopping locations. This Dunes is like the first one. This is the second one. I'm kind of excited to show you a little bit of what the photo shoot looked like. We'll get there in one momento, but look at this area. All very beautifully painted colors, every building a different color, nothing clashy. It was really dope. But this is the gold. This is the gold that Garant, like, look at this. So dope. This is, again, where will this photograph go? I don't know. But there's so much of this that I managed to grab while I was there. But the photo shoot that I did with Aurora, also known as Rory, because you're watching this, you get to see this inner. You get to see this before anyone else. This is why you travel. This is why you travel, is because I would never get this location in Canada. I would never get this location or anything even remotely close in Canada. Garan's daughter was brilliant. Let me show you a couple more. And also wide, mid, and close. This is the wide shot. Then this is the mid. So great. She was brilliant. And then, of course, I'm still on mid through this amazing location with this all white. And then I do close. Of course, we nail close here at the end. And then I change the location and I do wide again. Well, same location, different perspective. Then, of course, double page spread. This is the final of the double, which works. And then I got into vertical, different perspective, and then we changed locations. So this is a white on white on white with my retro super future sunglasses. And then I have to shoot beauty. So this is the close. Again, just to make sure that I nail that close-up shot. Then we change to a completely different location that's literally 30 minutes away. And we go from what looks like the desert to ocean. So this is next location. And then, yeah, I don't want to spoil all of the beans, but show you a couple more and then we're going to call it. The light and the quality of light in this place is what really broke my brain. There's this one little bit here that, yeah, I can't, this is the gold. Look at this light. Just absolutely ridiculous light. And again, I don't see light like this in the same way where I am. I don't get to see. Yes, this is a center focused horizontal, which is why there's only 2 frames of it. Yeah, this, I mean, there was something about the light that I got to see. So yeah, I wanted to just share a little bit of that. So excited about sharing and so excited about finally working on that set. Garan made it so I saw the whole country. And I mean, I'm really exaggerating. Like, South Africa is massive, but he drove 1,000 kilometers. I saw all up the Indian Ocean and all up the Atlantic Ocean. Like, 2 oceans meet in Cape Town, which is insane. And saw his mother's new house and Garan's house and like where his daughter's going to school, like went to wineries and like we took, because again, this was a 12-day from like here, like 12 days, but 2 of those days were travel. So when it really came down to like how much time I had in Cape Town, I really only had like a week. And in that time, really squeezed a ton out of it. Now, let's go back to you. The reason that I'm showing Cape Town, the reason that I'm talking about travel, the reason that I'm showing my test and crazy locations and talking about Miami and Montreal and all of that, the reason that I'm talking about all of that is not to show you what I'm doing, but to talk about what you should be doing, what you need to be doing for the next phase of your photography business, for your career, and for your mental state. We all love the place that we're from. We all love the place that we live. But sadly, and most of my audience is American, so I'm just generalizing here, but I think there's some insane state like 60% or so like don't have 60% of Americans don't have passports. Like over 50% of people have never left their state. Like there's so many of these like stats that I hear about Americans think that they have the best country. I imagine that. And I understand that. America's amazing. I spend a lot of time there. But there's so many other countries. There's so many other places. Starting with Canada. I mean, Canada is a hop, skip, and a jump. Just pop up to Canada, say hi to Carty. Traveling changes you, and doing something different changes you. And especially if you're trying to be a professional photographer, are you in the right market? Well, you don't know because maybe you haven't seen any other markets. These are the things that make you better. When you see other markets, when you go to art galleries and see different locations and stores and shops and music and nightlife, like when you experience like a different culture in its fullest state, when you come back, you're more cultured and more rounded. And I think that more photographers need to do that. I don't think enough photographers do that. I have several photographers that are in the Carty method that do that a lot. I have a couple of travel photographers, I have car photographers and portrait photographers. But it's hard to do that. It is hard to change state. I'm not saying like your actual state, but I mean change the mindset, the mental state to put you into a different environment, even if it's just for a bit. What's up, Mike? So, does anyone have any questions for me? We're going to keep this one a nice, light, tight, simple episode. I do want to talk a little bit about my Pro Accelerator, which is starting on, I think it is the 30th of the month. But we are taking applications now. Application meaning phase 0 is your application. If you go to thecartymethod.com/accelerator, you can watch the info session that I did a couple of nights ago. It gives you everything that you need to know as far as how to get in, how much it costs. And also I give a coupon code for getting phase 0 for 100% off. So, phase 0 right now, as it stands, you have, I would say, a couple of weeks before we're going to be asking before it's due. Download phase 0, get it for free, and get into phase 0. Let me help you get into my accelerator. Let me help you get to the next level with your photography career, please. Please. We have it down now to, I don't want to say a science, but I got to say, if you do the work, it works. I have a guy in my session right now, this round. His name is Mike Graves. He's doing 8K a month on retainer. 8K a month. I charged him $2,000 to get into this accelerator for 18 weeks. He's not even finished, and he's already doing 8K a month. So I just found that out yesterday. Hey, how you doing, Mike? Oh, good. You making money? Uh-huh. Yeah, what are we talking? Give me some numbers. I got 8,000 a month on retainer right now, on my way to 10. All because of you, Carty. I just do the work. So, yeah, get in my accelerator. Once you're on the other side of the fence, there's only so much that I can teach on YouTube for free. But if you want to learn how to do this for a living, get in my accelerator. Go to thecartymethod.com right now and get in. That makes me very happy. So, guys, again, it's September. September is the time that it's not summer quite anymore. I mean, yes, we do have a few more weeks before the first day of fall, but kids are back to school, like business is back to happening. This is the time that it's really the time for you to tighten yourself up so the end of your year ends better than the beginning of your year started. So next year, you know exactly what to do. September is the time that we buckle down. So I'm looking forward to buckling down. I wanted to have a bit of a casual, just catch up, a bit of an episode today. Everybody who is watching me live in chat, thank you. I appreciate you. I will be posting, and you can see quite a bit of stuff in stories and stuff like that on my Instagram if you're into that kind of thing. Yeah, I saw the coolest stuff, the coolest drives, the coolest scenery, I stayed in the sickest Airbnbs. Like, I don't know. I feel refreshed and charged and kind of inspired for what's going to be happening over the next little bit, like what my next say, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months, what that looks like. I'm so hyped about what that looks like. You guys should too be hyped about what your 3, 4, and 5 months looks like. If you appreciate this kind of content, please consider subscribing. My content usually all isn't me ranting and showing pictures about my trip and talking about why you should get on a plane in South Africa. But next week, we'll get back to very serious, actionable content. Right now, I'm at that point where, it's the next round of my accelerator. I'm really focused on that. I'm hoping that you guys are interested in being in it. If you like this kind of content, maybe hit the like button, maybe share one of my favorite videos with a friend. And if you're into videos, I got a whole bunch of Cape Town, South Africa content coming up. Thank you so much for watching me. I'll see you soon. Denise is asking, how do I still find locations to shoot when I'm traveling?
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.
Your question is too deep, Denise, for me to answer here in chat. Please ask me that question on Thursday in Portfolio Labs workshop. And James, I would like you to stop using the word boudoir and start using the word art nudes. Please look up the photography of Anna Diaz. Thanks for watching, everybody.